Well, it is super fun trying to remember how you get back to the airport. But luckily I'm not the only one who's doing this. So, and then we'll get on the walking path, head underneath the bridge, and then after that we will basically be back at the airport. All right. One thing that I love about the SAS app is that for Wibro flights, I can just add a bag. It'll tell me I need to, and then when I go to like pay, it just airs out, and then it shows I have the bag. And I thought, okay, this isn't gonna work. Like I'll have to talk someone into like giving me a free bag, but because it doesn't show on the Winrow app or like the Winrow website that I have 2 bags now, but it works because when I flew out of Illusen, they're like, oh yeah, you have 2 bags. Here you go. So we will see. Honestly, at this point, it's not even that bad. Like if I have to pay, okay, big deal. I've already saved once, like 52 bucks. So it's value well spent in my opinion. Anyways, let's head into the deep dark tunnel underneath the runway. And let's keep on moving. Eastbound down, loaded up and trucking. All right, we have made it back to Tromsø Lufthavn. Bags checked, easy enough process. Ironically, they have air freight servicing as well, which is always funny because you're like, oh, I don't expect this. This is a very quick, basic security checkpoint. Well, I'm actually shocked they have a Narvesen for once instead of a point. It's kind of rare. I haven't seen something other than a point inside of an airport yet. After a quick restroom break, my luggage is already here, just waiting for me. How nice. Well, it's finally happened. I can't avoid it any longer. 60 pounds. Real nice. Well, it's actually not quite. The boots weigh a little bit, and they're in my hands, like it's not quite 60 pounds. Oh, this is the bus we want. Let's hop on it. Well, after trying to avoid having to lug actually all my stuff around, the point of even taking a luggage cart yesterday, borrowing it for 24 hours, we're finally having to carry our stuff, and it's a decent amount. You know, this is after all 2 months, so honestly it's not that bad, especially when you consider it's mostly camping gear as well. But yeah, we got about 8 minutes here, and then we are going to hop on the next bus, and then from there we'll be able to walk to our final destination and set up, and yeah. Well, the bus just passed the next station, so let's grab our stuff. Now, the reason I'm not carrying this is one, it's a bit bulky. I got all the plastic bags since the outstations don't have them for transporting my stuff, which is a bit annoying. And then, of course, the electronics, which we've been carrying around for most of this. But you gotta remember, this electronics bag, especially thanks to those batteries, weighs like about 25 pounds, 25 to 35 pounds. So it's pretty heavy. Let's get on it. Where they're gonna stop. Oh, a little ways down. We'll just walk to it. Alright, so we've gone on to the second bus, but it looks like their screen isn't working, so we're going to make sure that we get off on the right side and we don't overshoot it. Because once we get out into the countryside, these stops are going to be pretty infrequent. That would really suck if we have to hoof it, you know, a kilometer or two extra because we missed our stop.
Слушай, давай перезвоним на это, значит, что буду.
Alright, so we've reached the end of the route and we still have a couple Ks, but shouldn't be anything so bad that I need to switch out, say, to my boots. Just a little walk here. As I was saying before, one of the more annoying things about this whole setup is the fact I'm doing this with electronics. If I didn't have to carry this 25-30 pounds of electronics, I would have a way easier time. But it's just about a 20-minute walk. Nothing too crazy. I will need to keep that in mind for the return. I'm definitely going to want to make sure I allot enough time on both ends. One, getting to the bus station. Two, when I get to the airport, making sure that I have enough time to break everything down. I mean, can't beat the views at least. Look at this view though.
200 feet, take the stairs.
Isn't it beautiful? We are still technically north of the Arctic Circle, though we're not nearly as far north as Tromsø. It sucks, especially with one hand full. But I think that's a bunker over there, which is really interesting, because I think that then means that along here are some defensive positions. And this building is an olive drab. And olive drab always tells you one thing, right? Obviously, only one thing: military. Right? I was right. Coastal defense is 100%. Look at that gun right there. This was an old Norwegian military base that has been turned into a walking trail. According to this, I think we're supposed to go on this thing here, but it would really suck if it just ended. But if we go down there, we're gonna have to climb out. So I am just gonna end my route here and reconfirm using correct path. So we're gonna keep it moving. It's the name of the game, right? Don't stop, just keep moving. You stop, you die. Get some nice visuals though, while I suffer. Turns out a little backpack is actually heavier, feels, than a machine gun. But what can one do? Oh, I think I had a plan. So interesting fact about this specific color. It's named after a mining town where they started mixing, I believe, copper into the paint, and it helped with salt water.
Is on your left.
All right, well, we meet to the campground. There's a couple of other tents, but it's mostly just caravans. Let's go ahead and get this ruck off here. The caretakers are actually German. It's always nice when you get to use a little of your German skills. Well, that's a solid reminder that I don't want to be 60 pounds heavier yet again. Oh. All right, let's go get our tent set up, and then from there, we'll figure out the plan for the rest of the day. Now, while amazing for stealth camping, I will say it is going to be a tad bit awkward going to like normal campgrounds like this and setting up the light fighter tent. This is a tent meant for combat, and so it's going to stand out a little. I mean, two people have like bright tents, blue, maybe a weird green, but an actual army tent, it's a bit strange. Going to be using our tent stakes. We're not in a super austere environment where necessity of just getting camouflaged is super important. So we're going to use these to really stake it down, make sure we get good ventilation in here, make sure it's nice and comfortable. And just like that, we've got the tent all staked out, all good to go. It might rain while I'm gone, I'm not too sure. So just to be on the safe side. All right, here comes the bus right on time. Perfect, perfect. Hop on this. Only runs once an hour, so you gotta make sure you make it on. All right, well, one of the rare grocery stores, I guess, but they have sandwiches and they have tacos, and I keep hearing some things about these Norwegian tacos, so I might need to try one. Club sandwich or bacon. Spicy Thai. I think I had a couple things here. Alright, so they had a Tex-Mex taco. Obviously, I had to at least try that. I mean, can you really go somewhere where they have something from Texas and you don't try it? No, definitely not. Alright, drink and food acquired. Now let's just go find a nice little place to sit down and enjoy this meal. Well, we don't have benches around here. Something against people just eating, but hey, this little ledge will work perfectly for lunch. No. Honestly, not that bad for a burrito. I'm actually pretty impressed. I don't know what makes it Tex-Mex. I can taste some barbecue, maybe some salsa in there, beans, I think, or some lines, and of course meat. sort of beef. It's also carrot, but apparently it's Tex-Mex. All right, let's try. All right, let's try this Thai wrap and see how it is. Honestly, I preferred the Tex-Mex burrito a little. Brother. All right, well, lunch is finished. Overall, pretty good. You know, the pricing though is starting to bother me. Like, it is not good that I'm going to a grocery store. I am getting, okay, yes, I'm getting pre-made sandwiches, sure, but that I'm walking out with 2 sandwiches and a drink, and it cost me $14. That is expensive. But now that I know that I can go like McDonald's and I walk out of there with a $37 menu, I'm okay with the 14. It's just still not that cheap. But anyways, museum's right in front of us, so let's go explore that. Yes, aircraft. Let's go. This is a UH-1. And that, I think, is a Spitfire. Well, the other side is in Norwegian, but this side's in English. But I kind of got the gist of it. They were flying Gladiators, which are biplanes. Kind of crazy that they're still operating those in 1940, especially against the Germans flying Bf-109s and Norwegian fighters. So I was correct. This is a fighter base. Wow, look at all of this aircraft. I believe that is a Gladiator. It is an impressive amount of aircraft in here. Huh. And just out of the random. So we're in the Bodø Squadron bar here, and for a second I had to wonder, was this an actual bar for a squadron? But no, it is an exhibit. I wasn't sure with the Norwegians. You never know. European Air Forces, of course, are really underfunded, so could be. But yeah, honestly, not that far off from a legitimate squadron bar. Been to a few of them in the US Air Force, and yeah, pretty solid. It looks like the Germans even had bases on Svalbard. Moved into a little bit more modern era. I'm assuming that's a fake U-2. Fighters. A6 Sabre. F-16. The difference that you'll see between US and other nations is there is no name on this aircraft. This does not belong to a specific person, versus a US F-16 would have the commander and the maintenance leader on it. perhaps more important than the military side is the civil aviation. After all, Scandinavia, Norway specifically, has a really interesting past of civil aviation, and we're starting to see that as we go to all these different airports across Scandinavia.
I mitt stille sinn måtte jeg tenke på den pelikanen som vi hadde med oss på den første flyferden i Arktis i 1925. Det er det beste og mest lærende dere kan ete, gutter.
Det som alltid slår med når jeg leser Syden-kataloger, er at mange av reisemålene som er skildret ligner veldig på den vesle tettstaden Moltenstranda i Møre og Romsdal. En gresk ferieby kan for eksempel bli omtalt slik.
Don't mind if I don't. It does not look fun. Well, we just finished the museum. Really interesting. Glad I got that opportunity. The only annoying thing is I'm pretty exhausted. I didn't get much sleep. I had a very packed day yesterday. I really don't feel like going in and kind of exploring the rest of the town. I think what I'm gonna do is, one, I'm gonna see if I can go that way. Two, I'm just gonna head back to the campground and maybe take a nap. Yeah, I think that'll be a solid plan.